Hello, everyone. Welcome to Stepping Stones to AAC. Let's take a trip. I'm Heather Prenovo, and I'm here tonight with Brittany Tony. And our Stepping Stones to AAC classroom has gotten an upgrade. We've had so many fun activities over the last year that we needed to add some more bookshelf space. So thanks to our great Brittany, we got a little upgrade, and we will be putting the link here. You can click on the different icons on the shelves, and if we've already done that session, the recorded class is available there, and it'll bring you to our website, and you can also download the handouts while you're there. And if you don't have anything when you hover over it, that means it's coming soon. So keep coming back. While I'm here, I again am Heather Prenovo. I am the Bitmoji on the right. We switched spots. I was so used to saying the left that I had to stop and think now, Brittany.
Sorry.
That's all right. I am a speech language pathologist by trade and an AT consultant for Saltillo in Minnesota and Wisconsin. So welcome, and my friend Brittany.
Hi, everyone. My name is Brittany Tony, and I am also a speech language pathologist and assistive technology consultant for Saltillo, but I support Saltillo products in Southwest Ohio, Indiana, and Northern Kentucky. So if you live in any of those areas, I would be your person, your gal. So welcome.
Perfect. The other things that are interactive in that classroom, if you head on over there, you can have a link to our low-tech board that we use during the class, which you get to by clicking on the poster on the wall. And then where the word go is, that will take you to some free resources on our Chat Corner website to get some more ideas for how we can work with core words. So definitely go check that out, share it with your friends. We want to welcome you again, and we know that AAC is a journey, and we're all at different points in the journey. And so one of the reasons that Brittany and I wanted to do a class like this was to help meet you where you're at, give you some ideas, some resources on how we can continue to build language with our AAC users and keep you moving on that journey. So we appreciate you taking time in your evenings to join us. And let's get started.
Sorry. So our first handout this evening is, this is the organizational tool. That's what it's called in your materials anyway. And this just helps us organize and think about what we're going to say when we're modeling for kids on an AAC device or a low-tech board or whatever it is that you're using. So today, specifically, we're identifying core words and strategies to model when we are getting ready to travel. So spring break is coming up, and although you may not be going anywhere fancy, we're looking forward to that day, or maybe you can just travel at home. So, from one room to another, make it fun. So we're going to be choosing 3 core words and then planning questions and comments and scripts for those. That's really useful when you're trying to think of what you want to say. And then how you might model these using maybe a 1-word model, depending on what language stage your AAC user is in, or a 2- or 3-word model. So that's just what this form is. And we'll be going through this together this evening if you have not joined us before. And then the second handout is just our reference tool that we have. So if after the training, it kind of walks you through what we're going to be talking about together tonight. But after the training, if you forget one of the steps, you're like, I don't remember what we did for planning comments, you can come back to this and just reference it. It's also great to hand out to other colleagues, other team members. I know that we have a lot of families this evening, a lot of parents on, so maybe this is something, hey, I went to this awesome training, or maybe not so awesome, I don't know. I think it's pretty cool, but I went to this training and we talked about this. This is something that I thought you could use, or I just want you to know what I'm going to be doing with my child. Maybe you could use this as well. So that might be just something any of these handouts can be replicated and given to team members and just for you to reference later on.
Perfect. So with those materials, kind of the reason why we chose talking about travel, one of the things, like Brittany said, we don't get to travel too much in the last year, but there's lots of different ways to travel, be it virtually or actually getting in the car or taking a plane or train, all those different things. So it gives you a lot of freedom to interact with it, have fun with it, tailor it to your child's needs. So if they have some place that they just love to go, this would be a great tool to try to encourage more communication for different things about where they like to go. We can also look at those virtual field trips. So many different places have created opportunities for you to do a virtual trip into places, big libraries, museums, the zoos. So we don't have to necessarily leave if you have access somewhere in your home or nearby that you can hop on and do a virtual trip. Kind of use the same vocabulary and the same types of ideas with it. It can be helpful. We know that a lot of kids need that prep for that transition or that change. And so if you're able to do some of this beforehand, you could be talking and using those words, modeling those words, and prepping them for the trip. And then on top of it, my favorite thing is that we can do lots of different types of communication. So we can talk about the things we want to do, the things we want to see. We can ask questions, answer questions. And then the fun for me is always being able to retell what we saw or what we did. So can we take that information and share it with somebody else after the trip to really take it to the next level? So again, I think you can get a lot of use out of this idea. The last piece of your materials is a copy, as we said, of our low-tech board based off of the Word Power 60 Basic. It is 96 locations, if you see that in the title at the top. And that's just because we've added the question words on there, some more of the social phrases like please, thank you, there's a problem, some of the feelings, and then beefed it up with some more verbs or actions on there. So just as a reference point, I was talking with teams earlier today about how it might not look exactly like your child's homepage, but teaching them like, hey, I'm modeling this word, let's find it on your device. This is the same word, those kinds of things. It's a good teaching moment, but it just also gets them going. And we've mentioned before, these low-tech boards are great for those opportunities where you don't necessarily want your device with, like at the beach or in the bathtub, or maybe cooking. I know my kitchen gets a little messy, so we can have a low-tech option and still be modeling some of those words for them. So tonight we're doing things a little bit different. If you've joined us before, normally this is where we would do a little video that we would talk through, but tonight we wanted to do more interactive and in person with you. So we're going to plan a virtual trip together, and I put some prompts on the screen to get you thinking about where should we go? What will we see? What are we going to do? And I would do this kind of thing with my child or with my students when I was working in the schools, is have those visuals to help start the conversation. So I want you guys to be thinking, where should we go? And if you could chat it out in the chat window, what do you think? If we were planning a trip, where would you want to go? Would you want to go to the mountains, go to the beach or the ocean? Would you want to go to a forest, or would you like to be in the desert? So now's your time. Where would you like to travel to? Beach?
Beach would, yeah. I like to hike. I would like to go to the mountains or the forest, but that's just me. Mountain.
I'm going to be honest, I picked all 4 places I would want to go. But hey, see?
Oh, we're getting lots of different ones.
I'm excited because I'm in agreement with all of them. I like the hiking. I like being at the beach. I like the warmth, being a Minnesota girl in March. So I'm not going to lie, for tonight, we are going to talk about planning a trip to the beach because I need some warmth. Today was rainy and cold, so we're gonna plan a trip tonight together to the beach. So
Nice.
our next step, we want to talk about what are we going to see when we're at the beach. So what do you guys think? What are we going to see when we get there? You can look at the picture, you can tell me what you see in the picture, or you can start thinking about some other things that we might see. And I'm going to switch screens on you while you chat in the chat window for me. Whoops. What are we going to see at the beach? And if I can get it while you guys chat, there we go. I'm going to bring up some more things that we could add.
Water, that's a good, yeah.
We're going to see water. Yes, we are. What else are we going to see? And I can add
Sand.
it to our picture. I see sand.
What about a shark?
We might see a shark.
I don't know, probably not, but they live like way up, but that's what my son
Right.
always wants. I hope not. Yes, exactly.
Swimmers,
Swimmer.
yes. All right, sorry it logged me out. If you have not had the chance to use the Lesson Picks add-on to PowerPoint, for those that are into that kind of thing, it's free. You can go to the My Add-ons and get it. So I can add a shark to my picture and a bucket and a swimmer. Ooh, okay. I'm gonna pick the
A
cute shark
bucket.
though. I'm gonna add a cute
Yeah,
shark.
yeah. Well, but
Where should the shark
yeah,
go?
he's like
Should he be
in the water.
not in the tree? Okay.
Yeah, see?
In the water. All right. I'm on it.
Maybe he's
All right. Bucket. Let's see. Ooh, what color bucket should we have for our sand? I kind of like the yellow bucket. So I'm gonna put, ooh, that's a really big bucket. I'm gonna make it small. Where should the bucket go? On sand. Thank you. Rajul, you read my mind. You knew where it was coming. What else did we say? We said swimmers. Okay. We
Yeah,
might see
swimmers.
swimmers here.
Hopefully not getting eaten by the shark.
Right?
Looks like
You
a
know
nice
what?
shark, you know.
I'm gonna put the swimmer. He's not ready yet. He's watching that shark. He's gonna hang out here by the starfish. So he's not ready to swim, even though that swimmer or that shark looks friendly. Anything else you might see at the beach?
Umbrella, that's a great one.
I was just
Denise.
thinking of that, Denise. So you guys are reading my mind tonight. Yes, we
Well,
want to
that's a
see other.
great question, Rajul. Are these add-ons available in Google Docs or Google Slides? You know what? I don't know that answer.
Yeah. Megan, so if you are in PowerPoint and you go to Insert and go to My Add-ins, it brings you to the store. Or actually, you go to the store first because now I've downloaded it, but you just say you want lesson picks and it downloads and installs, and then it shows up under My Add-ins. And
Mm-hmm.
so you can then pull it in and you can interact with it. So yes, in PowerPoint. I have not tried it in Google Slides. Um, and usually when I'm in Google Slides, I'll just use like Google Images for this kind of things. But you could still do this kind of activity, and interact with it with your child or your student.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if lesson picks. I'm gonna say that I've seen someone use them in Google Slides, but don't quote me on that. You could probably search it on their website though. They have a lot of tutorials on there.
Right? Yes, that's where I got the step-by-steps off of lesson picks. So definitely check it out. Well, now we've got all the things we're going to see. Next, let's talk about what we want to do while we're at the beach. So let's brainstorm some activities that we might do at the beach. So I know we already talked about having a swimmer, so we want to swim at the beach, right? If it's not too cold or not too sharky. It is super cool. One of my favorite, I learned this from another AAC presenter last fall, and I've been dying to try it more and more. So I thank you
Yeah,
guys
it's
for allowing us to play with it with you. What other activities can you do at the beach?
build a sandcastle.
Ooh,
That's what my kids like to do. And then they get all sandy and then look,
exactly. We can look at things. Oh, yes. All right, there's the sand. I'm like, not a castle.
bouncy castle. Play
Okay.
dig in the sand.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can run on the beach.
And this is where you could, we can play with these things. You could also be bringing in, and we've talked before, if you use chat editor, oops, start grabbing the wrong thing here. You could bring in some of their symbols. So we could bring in play, run, and have those symbols if we can't find them in here, but I bet you we can find it because Lesson Picks has so many things. And then you just kind of scroll through and maybe I just have to do the symbol for or the sign for play because I can't get a good play in the sand. Run in the sand. I love all of those ideas. Dig in the sand. So you guys get the idea. We're coming up with all these great things that we can talk about for our trip. And so if you pick other things, let's jump in the water. Yes, how about diving? Um, and to help prep. So if you're going to the zoo or if you're taking a trip to grandma's house, maybe we bring up a picture of grandma. Um, and there, I've got somebody diving in. We'll dive over the sand. We can have fun with it. The other idea is that because I often hear, well, that's kind of a higher than what my kids can handle, or they're not necessarily getting that idea that we're putting a picture of something, or if we did one of those virtual field trips and you brought up that video and we're like, oh, let's talk about what did we see there, or what can we see, or what do we want to find. You can also grab, some more concrete symbols or some more concrete places. If they really like going to the playground, let's talk about, what do we need to do before we go to the playground? What do we need to pack? How are we getting there? Are we walking? Or are we driving? Finding those words and having fun with it. So those are just some ideas on how to prep for our trip, which gets us to um, our next step, which is using our tool. So as you guys did all of these things, what are some of those core words that we used as we were talking about planning our trip? And I see a question. Yes, perfect. Using some of those for a let's go activity. I like it. And yes, we can use the word go. We use that a lot during our activity today. Play, run, look. Um,
Look or see.
Look, see. I like go, and that
Use
can
the
have the run, play, all those verbs. And I was trying to use the question word where. And I've been trying to increase my students that I get to interact with when I go out or meet with teams to start using more question words. So I'm going to throw that one in. So that's step one, is picking some of these words. And you can use your home screen or your core words board to help think of some of those core words if you're newer to core words, and help you plan that. Step two then is creating open-ended questions to encourage communication. And if you're not familiar with those, they are questions that require more than just a yes/no answer. So we want to keep the conversation going. And with this, we're thinking of open-ended questions that either have our target core word in it, or the answer is going to have the core word in it. So quick quiz, which one of these is an open-ended question? Was the wave big, or where was the beach ball? Number two, I see a vote for. Number two, you are right. And the other nice thing with open-ended question is there's lots of possibilities for answers. So we don't have to know what they're going to say. We can give them the opportunity to be more creative and more, create more novel utterances. So if it was on the towel or it's over there, they can say, you know, there, um, that sort of thing. So can you think of some questions to go with the word go? Some open-ended questions. I know the first one that I gave was, where should we go? We could do the where was the beach ball? Where will we play? Good.
I like that one. Where will we play?
Sometimes it can just, oh, who is going? Yeah. Ooh, I like that one.
Great. Where will we eat? Yeah.
You got it. Go is like the most versatile word. I love using it. Same with see. So that would be why I picked that one for tonight as well. Our other ones were great words. What are some questions we can use the word see? Maybe what?
What will we see?
That's what I was thinking. What will we see? What did you see? See the waves. So that could hold on to that one, Megan. We can put that one in our possible comments.
Back to what Rajul said along the same lines, we could say something like, who will we see?
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Ooh. And if your student or your child is at a lower language level, not quite there yet. Ooh, I like that one. Where will we see grandma? You can scale it back. So it could just be what see. And, you know, yes, it's not grammatically correct, but that might be where they're at, and we can still model see and then build on it. Or we can say, oh, what did we see? And we'll talk about the modeling piece in just a second. And then the last one, obviously we had a lot of them that we can reuse from up above in the go. Where should we go? Where is it? You know, where go? Any of those type of word questions we're gonna be able to use. And we can repeat, that's okay. One thing that Brittany and I are always saying is it's okay, and we want repetition because then they learn it a little faster.
Yeah.
One of the last steps then is making possible comments. So if your child is not responding to open-ended questions yet, that's okay. We can model the response. We can model the comment that would answer that question to show them what that might sound like. Writing down one or two comments that you would model for your child, or maybe you just want to make some comments about what you're seeing. You know, when we talked about being at the beach, what did we see? I see this, and we can model those. And so it's just great to have those ready and thought ahead. Keeping them at or above their language level is huge. So if they're just doing one or two words right now on their device, then don't do more than 2 or 3 words beyond that when you're modeling or you're trying to find things, because we want to slowly increase their language. We want to expose them at their level. And so I know Megan said, see the waves. I'm going to add that one here. What are some comments for go and where? I'm trying to be mindful of time. We had so much fun with our activity tonight. So we could do I go, we go.
We go beach.
Go beach.
Go to beach.
Go to beach. Go
Go
now.
now.
Love it.
Like,
How about for sea? I know I
no,
mentioned.
go in water. Good.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Sometimes we have to say that. No, go.
I feel like protesting is one of the most powerful. Like, protesting are so powerful for kids. Well, anybody.
We see shark.
Yes.
And then I would say comments for where, obviously, since it's a question where you get it. But you can start writing some of the responses to, if they aren't going to answer the where should we go, you can have some responses at the ready. So we go to zoo, we go to the beach, those kinds of things like we did when we were pre-planning. The last step on the bottom here is how are we going to model? And this is kind of what Brittany was saying, like having those ideas of I go in water, start to slowly build those up and have those jotted down um, on your organizational tool here. And then finding the words on your device or on your board so that you're not stressing out trying to find those words when you're actually doing the activity or talking with your child. Practice finding them on the board. So I'm going to give you some time with our beach scene, and I'm going to show my doc cam. So if you want to take your board or your device out, we'll just do a couple together so you can see how it might look with the sentences we were talking about. Not a cursor. I did a shape and then in PowerPoint and did a no fill in the center of the shape and then created the red outline and made the border thicker. All those PowerPoint tools and tricks. So,
Yeah.
so I can't take credit. I did learn it from a teacher friend. So with our at the beach, I can model, I see the crab. I go in the water. And if I'm slowly starting to build, go in, adding on to my sentence. Where should we go? Where did you see the fish? Any other sentences you would model, Brittany?
Maybe I go in
Oh,
water.
I go
When,
in. So again,
yeah.
slowly building onto that. I
I
like it. I
go in.
go out. And as you get more comfortable, slowly adding on this. I know, I apologize. Trying to get the light without the reflection from my desk lamp was not easy. So I apologize for the darkened board. So that's how I would model on a low-tech board. Again, if your child or your student allows you to touch their device and you want to find those words ahead of time on their device, um, that would be the way to model. And starting simple, keep it simple. Start with a couple words until you're comfortable. Oops, too far, too far. So that's our activity for the evening. Um, I know I have a couple lights going and it's just not the best angle for my board, so I will work on that for future ones. Normally I'm doing the videos and then I have perfect lighting and my office lighting not so great tonight, so my apologies.
I have the same issue. I have a can light that's like right above my device or board, and it always like there's kind of spot somewhere.
Right? So do you guys
Yeah.
have any questions? I know it is now 7:32 Central, so our time is coming up. Question about boards. Can I order a poster side boards for class? Reach out to your regional Saltillo rep to see if they have any posters available. And if you're not sure who your rep is, we'll put up the link to locate your rep in the chat window here before we go. So that way you can look it up. And we want you to just kind of be thinking about where you're at in this journey still. How do you feel during this practice? What are some next steps you have for modeling or coming up with core words to practice with your child or your student? Oh, good. I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. I do want to promote that our calendar this year is all about travel, and you can go to our saltillo.com and go to implementation chat corner. Yes, we will put those links in before we go. You can go to the chat corner here, and I'm going to pop this open, and that way I can paste that in for you too. The whole calendar this year is about travel, and so You can download the whole calendar, or you can go to each of the packs that we have. And so for March, our adventure pack is talking about kind of going on a safari with wild animals. And so there's a link to go and see live cams of African wildlife, which I think is super fun. And then there's activities that
Really
go with
cool.
it. I'm so excited about that one. So I will put this link in the chat window as well.
Did you guys, I wanted to know if you guys liked that. I'll put the language of that one in there too.
Thank you.
Did you guys like the way, for those that have joined us before, I guess, I don't know how many of you have and how many of you haven't. I recognize some of your names, um, we're just wondering how you guys liked how we did it this evening with the PowerPoint and kind of more interactive that way versus a video. Just thinking for future, we're trying to keep our ideas, you know, come up with new ideas and things like that. We want to keep it fun and interactive. So let us know if you have thoughts about it, or you can.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you,
You
Rachel.
can fill out the.
Okay. And you got
Okay.
the lesson picks tip. So, hey, it was worth the price of admission, right? And we do appreciate if you guys fill out the surveys at the end. We do look at those and get ideas from it. Brittany and I were actually just reviewing some old surveys and getting ideas for next year's Stepping Stones classes. So the new classes for April through June are now up on the website. So share with your friends if you thought it was worthwhile. And there's some more information about the calendar and our contact info. We appreciate you guys sticking around.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.